This is Education Without Borders. In Education Without Borders, it's all about decoding and opening up Sustainable Development Goal number 4 on quality education. And in Education Without Borders, we want to learn about many things that sometimes may not be properly articulated in class. And in particular, I want us in this lesson to learn about the Sustainable Development Goal number 4. That is education, as I have said earlier. And we are going to do nature study. Nature study is a study of nature. And we learned when we were in primary school that nature study is about learning about living things and non-living things. So let us zoom into non-living things. In particular, let us look at our environment. In our environment, we have had a lot being talked about carbon, about climate change, about global warming, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure all of us have witnessed changes in the weather. A few decades ago, you could be able to predict when there will be rain, when there will be a hot weather, when to plant, when to expect short rains, heavy rains, winter, summer, autumn, spring, and the weather was quite predictable. But in the recent past, we have heard a lot about the climate change, which has caused global warming. And let us ask ourselves, what is this all about? After all, has the sun moved? Has the sun moved closer? Or has the earth moved closer to the sun? I think science teaches us that that is not the case. The global warming and the climate change has a lot to do with what we as human beings have been doing to our environment. And in particular, it has everything to do with the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Nature was created by our Almighty God to be able to have a very good balance of carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide is, as we know from chemistry, is made up of, it's a gas made up of carbon and oxygen. We have, most of the time, we know it's CO2. And this CO2 then, we also know from our science that carbon dioxide is what is needed by plants to be able to thrive. Trees, plants take in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. And the human beings is vice versa. We breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. So this simply shows us that nature had its own way of balancing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The human beings breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. The plants breathe in carbon dioxide, breathe out oxygen. So you can see the balance was there right from the beginning. And because of this, then nature had a very good balance of the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. Now, very many activities have happened as a result of man's civilization, progress, and maybe carelessness to some extent, ignorance. Maybe we have even cut down our trees and therefore disrupted that balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide. And you find in some places, and most of the time, the human population has also increased due to the advancements in science. And therefore, you find maybe we are more in need of cutting those trees and plants and forgetting that they are the ones which give that control. So what happens then is that the carbon dioxide then in the environment gets destabilized, that is, the balance gets offset, such that if you have of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, then the temperatures come down, it becomes cooler, colder, and it may not be very good for life, to support life. And the vice versa is also true. If there is too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, then there is warming, global warming. You find the glaciers start melting, and there's no top mountains starts losing their balance, and other things happen, and it disrupts the equilibrium, and therefore you find that we talk about the climate change and some very serious consequences. And therefore, very many governments in the world have come together with a view to addressing this problem, because if it's not addressed, then you can imagine what kind of a world are we living to our beloved children and their generations that you come after us. Therefore, we are all responsible. We should take full responsibility of, first of all, aligning ourselves to the SDG, or the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, of understanding education, being educated, having the knowledge that each one of us is responsible for taking care of the environment and being aware of the carbon dioxide that we are disrupting. When we breathe out carbon dioxide, do you stop to ask yourself, have I planted a tree or a plant to take that carbon dioxide? Indeed, you may find you have cut several trees. In a minute, don't go away, and you'll see how are we able to circumvent that. Now that the damage has been done, what do? We cannot just sit there and hope that some magic will come and fix things. No, that is why SDG number 4 on education and knowledge is very important. What we need to know is that there's something in the world that is called carbon footprint. If you hear of carbon footprint, you better know that it concerns you and me, because anybody breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide is a major stakeholder. And I don't think there's anybody who breathes in any other gas other than oxygen and breathes out any other gas other than carbon dioxide. And therefore, if you know that you breathe in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide, then you are the person I am speaking to and addressing here, that you are a major stakeholder and fully responsible for disruption of our environment. So what is it you can do? All is not lost. You can look at what you can do. You can plant trees. You can be involved in projects that address the removal of the carbon dioxide, because the reason why there's global warming, as we said earlier, is because there's too much carbon dioxide that has not been balanced, and therefore it's causing the elevation of temperatures. And therefore the responsibility you and I have is to be involved in projects which help to reduce the carbon dioxide in the environment. I've talked about planting trees. When you plant trees, then you participate in creating that will help to remove the carbon dioxide. And what are the incentives, first and foremost? Because a lot of us ask, does planting trees put money in my in my pocket, I would dare to say yes. Planting trees can put money in your pocket, but you have to be smart. Listen to this. Planting trees can put money in your pocket, but you have to be smart, knowledgeable, and fully aligned to education and knowledge. Carbon footprint is a very popular thing. We are hearing about it. Have you stopped to ask yourself, and what is this? Yet you are a major stakeholder because you are responsible for disrupting carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere. So what you need to do is, when you start a project that removes carbon dioxide from the environment, you must register that project with the relevant authorities. There are some authorities who are able or experts in knowing, once you plant that tree, can they access how much carbon dioxide have you removed? And that also has to be authenticated, that it is real, it is measurable. So the first thing is register your project. A very simple way to register your project is, in Kenya, we have this app that was introduced or rolled out by government called Jaza Miti. Do you have that app downloaded on your phone, so that when you plant a tree, you are able to register it to the relevant authorities, so that if you call and claim that I have a project of tree planting, at least you have some evidence. Jaza Miti is an app that should be on your phone, as anybody breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. If you don't have Jaza Miti as an app on your phone, so that it helps you to track how many trees have you planted to help remove carbon dioxide, then we can't say you are serious. You just complain about the weather. What is it that you have done? This knowledge has been brought to your doorstep. You need to know there is an app called Jaza Miti that can help you track how many trees have you planted, and it goes directly to the government agencies which are responsible for planting trees. And without Jaza Miti, how will somebody know? Anyway, there are organizations that you can register with. There are also other projects that you can register with the relevant bodies. For example, are you involved in green projects, solar power, renewable energy, biogas? These are projects which help to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. There are very many others. For example, for people in construction, we know that, for example, cement is responsible for carbon dioxide emission into the environment. Yet you still need it. But you also need to know that there are new technologies which help to reduce the amount of cement, cementitious material in that concrete. And you can register those projects with the relevant bodies, so that you can be authenticated or measured, and then somebody will give you a carbon credit and note, which you can then trade with a company that is responsible for emitting carbon dioxide. There are some companies all over the world looking for those credits so that they can offset. Because remember, we are talking about a balance, and we are all in the same world. We all are being affected the same way. So let us build a critical mass of those who are responsible for projects that remove carbon dioxide from the environment, because there are others, by virtue of the fact that we still need to make progress and develop. They emit carbon dioxide, but then there should be a mass of people very busy doing projects that remove carbon dioxide, registering them, getting carbon credits, and trading. So you can see you could be planting trees, but you are not being adequately compensated. This is Education Without Borders, and I want to educate people and anybody who breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide. I am addressing any living thing that breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide, that there is an opportunity for a business and you could just learn how to navigate around this. Other people, other organizations all over the world could actually be using the trees that you plant. You better register the tree that you plant, because if you don't, somebody else will come and register and then claim the carbon credit from you. Education Without Borders is about teaching people, disseminating knowledge. So in this lesson, we learned about nature study and how you can convert whatever activities you are doing into a business, and you can trade in it. Keep watching, and we shall be telling you more about such insights. Don't forget to subscribe, to share, and to like, because people perish for lack of knowledge. Never say you didn't know. You could be very busy doing something, planting trees, doing activities that help remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, yet you are not benefiting. You are just sitting there waiting for somebody to come and give you a job. Yet this is a business that you could be doing. You could be a trader in carbon credits. Keep watching, keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. We shall be back for more insights and knowledge.